Yes, people, welcome to episode 5 of Big Head Mode. Now, yes, this was meant to come out on Sunday, but it was Easter Sunday, and this is now 3 days later, so it seems kind of fitting that it's coming out now. So we're going to go over all of the news that happened last week. Well, not all of it, all the big stories that dropped. So let's crack open a cold one and get right into it.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Alright, so the biggest piece of news that I want to talk about first is going to be the Super Mario Galaxy movie that dropped. I had the pleasure of going to see it on release day. I managed to get a middle seat, smack bang in the center of the super screen at Cineworld, and it was incredible. I absolutely loved it. I went there straight after work on my own, got my big Pepsi, sat there, chilled out, had a great time watching it, and I laughed the entire way through. I did not stop smiling. It's absolutely brilliant. I love the first film, and with this one, it was just so good. But it doesn't appear that everyone felt that way.
Mamma mia!
Critics on Rotten Tomato have rated this at about 42%. I'm not au fait with how Rotten Tomato works, everything. I normally look at IMDb or Letterboxd, but 42% versus the fans' reaction, which is about 89%. It does make you wonder what the difference is that they're seeing here, or what the critics are looking for that the fans aren't. Because I saw that a lot of the reviews from the critics were saying that the story was weak, and well, it's not Shutter Island. Like, you're not going to be getting an incredibly Oscar-worthy plot from it. It's a Mario movie with a Mario game behind it. You play any of the other Mario games out there and tell me that the plots are never be any good. Man's princess goes missing, goes save princess, job done. Like, at some point becomes friends with the guy who stole his princess and plays golf and tennis and goes karting with him. Mario really does suffer from a form of Stockholm syndrome, I think, but I digress. I absolutely loved the film. All the fan reviews were saying that it was just fun, it was great. Critics were, having to go at it for being like fan service. Like, well, what do you expect? It's a Mario movie. They've got to make up for the one from the 90s that we don't talk about. I absolutely loved it. If you haven't had a chance to go and watch it yet, I fully recommend going to watch it. On last Big Head Mode, I did talk about how they announced that Fox McCloud was in it, and I really wish they hadn't announced it, because the scene where he is shown would be so much better if you didn't know he was coming. All the way through, you're just waiting for it, and yeah, it's class. It's still incredible to see, and the chemistry they have off there. I know people have thought about maybe they're gonna do stuff with Star Fox, and it is really possible there. And I really hope they do. I just hope they don't take an Nintendo amount of time to make it. But it looked incredible. It was an absolute blast. There was a massive fuss about Donald Glover being made as Yoshi, but he plays Yoshi, so he just says Yoshi over and over again. It's kind of like Vin Diesel playing Groot in the Marvel films. It doesn't really matter who the actor is, but regardless, it was fun, and it was a really good movie. If you like Mario films, you should go and watch it. If you like video games, you go and watch it. If you want to have a fun film where you haven't got to actually think about stuff, and for an hour and a half, you haven't got to worry about the world falling apart around you, it is really worth it. But what I will say is the popcorn bucket. I really wanted that Yoshi popcorn bucket. I'm not paying 35 quid for it. You can get stuffed, all right? And also, to the woman who was in the screen with me who said Yoshi, get out. And we've got more Nintendo news now, and this is coming to us with the way of Nintendo Life, and it is in regards to the patents that Nintendo filed that they said that Palworld were infringing upon with their game. And this is mainly the summon character to fight for you mechanic that they had. Well, there is some good news, and I say good because it's been rejected. Now, little caveat, Nintendo do have 2 months to appeal this, and this is in America. This is not in the Japanese case, this is the American one, but that's a good thing. Apparently all 26 cases were thrown out or denied, so Nintendo can appeal that, but apparently the rates of appeal of being successful are very slim. I'm not a patent lawyer, I don't know the ins and outs of any of that stuff, but it's a good thing. And there's a reason why it's a good thing, and I don't think that mechanics for games should be locked behind patents. It's not fair to do so. It's very scummy. And it can stop the industry from progressing and from evolving, because ultimately by you having a mechanic hidden behind a patent and locked behind that patent, no one else can use it. Which means that other developers out there can't push their games in the way they want to push them, because you're saying, no, we've got that mechanic from 10 years ago in the one game that we've used it in. I'm looking at you, Warner Brothers, with the Nemesis system. It was a really good thing that you're locked behind a patent, and now we've got to wait a few more years for it to come open again. So yeah, it's just one of those things where Nintendo weren't happy with how Palworld were, doing so well based on a very similar idea, and they went all out to try and get it. And I don't think anyone here has been backing Nintendo in this. Anyone who isn't brainwashed by that. And I'm not saying you can't be a Nintendo fan. Hell, I'm a massive Nintendo fan. There's a bloody Switch right by here. I stream Switch games. I grew up playing Nintendo. I'm in the Nintendo store. You can't see it. I'm pointing at it over here where the bag is. I love Nintendo. I just don't love it when these things happen, okay? And you can disagree with actions of people, okay? You haven't got to be blinded by this. But I get why they want to protect themselves, but I also get that you are kind of clutching at straws with this one. And I'm really happy this has been thrown out, and I really hope it doesn't work out for them, and I really hope it just kind of gets dropped. Because what we don't want is more things being locked behind patents. We want games to be able to be creative. We want developers and designers to be able to push the boundaries without worry that it's going to be infringing on some company's patent that they've barely touched on, all right? And if you are going to patent something, use it a lot, all right? And use it in a really good way. So yeah, that's been thrown out. I'm not sure what's happened in the Japanese case for it. That's still against 3 other patents that are going on. There's just so much involved in this that it's just really weird, but I have never played Palworld. It doesn't look like a game that I want to play. I'm not big into like survival crafting and all that jazz, he says, as he's been playing Bacopia, but it's different. That is Pokemon, all right? I really hope it works out for the team behind Palworld. I think they've done really well with the success they've had from it, and I hope they keep on doing more with it. It has kind of like died down in hype a little bit. I think that is partly due to obviously the game getting a little bit older, and then obviously things like Bacopia coming out, so people who are Pokemon fans who want to play something like that are there. And also like the initial sort of meme factor has gone. I hope this works out in their favor, and I hope this kind of teaches people the lesson that you shouldn't become a patent troll. Next up, we've got some Xbox news. That is right, Xbox have already announced their June showcase that is going to be happening. It's on Sunday, June 7th at 6 p.m. UK time, and that is right, folks. I will be streaming my response to it, my reaction to it live, so you'll be able to come in, hang out, and we can watch it together. Be a good laugh. We did it for a couple of the other ones in the past, and try and do that more regularly with stuff. So yeah, come hang out. June 7th, which is 2 days after the start of Summer Games Fest, which is like the no longer E3 season, which I remember fondly. I remember reading about E3 in magazines and how like it was this big press thing and like only like the industry could go, and then they opened the doors up to more people, and then it started being broadcast online, and it was really cool, and then the world got shut down, which was really not cool, and now we've got Summer Game Fest, which I think is really cool, and I really like it. I like that we get a lot of announcements spread out and I can watch it all and take it all in. I do get overwhelmed by some of it because there is so much that gets announced, but I am really looking forward to Summer Games Fest this year. I think we're going to have a really good one, and I'm looking forward to sharing it all with you as well. I didn't have a chance to do like live streaming and broadcasting in the last one. I got a chance to do it with this one, and I am looking forward to sharing that with you. But anyway, we've got the Xbox Showcase coming on June 7th, and it is going to be a mixture of first party and third parties, as you'd expect from this big showcase. It's not just a partner one, it is literally their big show, all right? And it is not Paul White. And right after the showcase, we have got a Gears presentation as well about E-Day, which I'm not particularly interested in or excited for. I'll probably pick it up because it'll be on Game Pass, but aside from that, I'm not super like into the Gears lore. I've kind of like dropped off after, I think it was Gears 3. I kind of just kind of lost my way with it after Dom found his wife, and shut up, it's not a spoiler, the game's been out for blooming years now. It's nice to see that we're starting to get this news of these big events coming back, and I really hope we start to, you know, have a really good Summer Games Fest season. I'm really looking forward to it. I'll be intrigued to see what Xbox can bring to the table, what we're going to see more of. Hopefully we're going to see more of things like Fable. Hopefully we're going to see some other IPs that we maybe haven't seen before or haven't, you know, seen anything of recently, which would be really cool. I really don't know what they're doing with Rare. I don't know if they're planning on doing anything with anything that Rare has ever done in the past ever again, or just keeping them on like really weird projects with the Sea of Thieves that it seems to be now. But yeah, it'd be really cool to see what they do. And also, for you massive Xbox fans out there, they are bringing back Fanfest to celebrate 25 years of Xbox. It's going to be in a few cities around the world. In the UK, it's going to be in London, obviously. They haven't announced much about it yet, as far as I'm aware. I'm not going to be going, I don't think. I'm not a huge Xbox like person. Obviously, if I find a way of going to do some form of press coverage, then I will. That said, if you are an Xbox fan and you do love it, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to go and see like things that are celebrating Xbox. And I think it's really nice when companies do that. I think it is really good to remember like the impact that these consoles have had on people and the way that they need to be celebrated. Much like Nintendo needs to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Zelda still. And we've now had the announcement of another subscription service. I know you're all super excited about that. Indie.io has announced Indie Pass, which is going to be about $6.99 a month, and it's going to give you access to indie games, which is pretty cool. All right, I do like that idea that it's just going to be indie games. It does beg the question, what counts as an indie game? Because theoretically, Clear Obscure Expedition 33, which was classed as an indie game, won Indie Game of the Year at the Game Awards. So is that going to be something that we're going to see in there? Are we going to see games of that caliber? Or are we talking more things like Thomas Was Alone and smaller titles like that? If you play Thomas Was Alone, it is class. I've got it on my Steam Deck and I'm replaying it and I love it. But yeah, we're going to be seeing more like smaller stuff like that, or we're going to see some bigger things. Either way, $6.99 a month is not too bad for that. I'm not a fan of subscription services like this in general. They are a way of life now, unfortunately, and they are part of how we have to function with all of this. It is nice that it's given this sort of breath of life to indie games that maybe aren't getting onto Game Pass and getting onto the PlayStation Store. I do like that side of it. $6.99 a month won't get you many games like individually, so getting them all like in this indie package is really cool. But one of the big things with indie games is how the developers are supported. And they said there's going to be a revenue share based on player engagement, whatever that means for these indie games. But I've already seen people bring up the fact that some indie games don't take that long to finish. So if you've got a game which is like a 2-hour-long game, and if someone finishes it and they have a great time playing it, where do you get the engagement? How are you working that out? I'm not sure. I don't know the maths behind it. All right, we'll see what happens. I'm not huge on these sort of subscription services, but I do like the idea of bringing a light to some of these lesser known games, okay? I had a look at my Steam library the other day and I saw a bunch of games off Humble Bundle that I picked up over the many years that I was a PC gamer, and some of them are just absolutely unknown phenomenons, and I'm quite thankful that I managed to pick them up. So I really do hope that this does something good for like indie developers and stuff. So that is it, folks. That is episode 5 of Big Head Mode. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Thank you so much for all the support and all the engagement that you are giving me with these videos and stuff on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm trying to get back into the habit of posting on there. I've got some carousels that are coming up for it, which you might have seen if you follow me on there. It's Big Tent Plays on every form of social media. All right. But yeah, look after yourselves out there. Stay safe. Keep your head up. And I will see you all soon.